Clark Kent's son Jonathan has been ousted as a proud member of the Alphabet People, and everyone on Twitter is clapping at this like overdosed seals on spit. The truth of the matter is that once again, we are faced with yet another publicity stunt that is doomed to go down and be forgotten. The announcement is meant to promote the upcoming Superman Son of Kal-El issue 5 out in November by the imbecile Tom Taylor, who also took the opportunity to divulge the news to the 5 Twitter followers he has left after his rampage, going on a mass blocking spree because he's an oversensitive idiot who only knows how to say yes to everything they tell him to do, even if it's the most idiotic thing ever. Because make no mistake, dear viewers, this is yet another tactic by DC Comics to try and stay relevant and justify their existence before AT&T sends them the way of the dodo. Because people started talking about Robin being bi, and I would like to point out here that this was by all means misleading given it was a Robin, and that usually gets forgotten by those who aren't fans and not precisely the Robin. DC now thinks it's cool to go that road to generate talk around their pathetic productions. Yes, my friends, DC Comics books are pathetic. They try to pander to the usual gang of idiots. And no, I don't mean that particular gang of idiots, but it turns out that they don't even buy their comics, or any comics at all in the first place. These individuals just look for the latest swap, deformation, and destruction of a character, story, a book, movie, or any other piece of entertainment that was prior to this era massively enjoyed, and get a kick out of seeing fandoms getting divided and people angry at these changes. If it's the Tolkien fandom loving the mythology and enjoying the discussion around it in a healthy environment of mutual understanding and respect, off these imbeciles go and stir the pot to get everyone to hate one another by way of announcing sex in the newest project, or colors of hobbits that could ever be imagined, all of them there in the Shire, or some other dumb crap they feel like spouting because they also feel endorsed by retarded fan sites with a certain level of authority and a reputation that is more something from the past than an actual thing that they are having right now, but which has gone away with the pass of time and stupid takes. That is the truth. In the case of the comic book industry, the ship sailed a long time ago, and on it was taken also any and all dignity that the industry had left. Now, it's all about pandering to a crowd that doesn't even care. Creators within the industry are desperate to keep their jobs, and instead of looking at what manga is doing right now for the various titles to be consumed in such massive amounts, they turn a blind eye and think because there's yaoi and girls love it to death, the same shite is going to fly here, but it simply doesn't. For starters, these changes don't happen organically. They are mandated by the studio and carried out by the creative team. And I'm using the term creative here with major air quotes. And their only intention is to tick the boxes out. They are carried without a single strand of creativity, and because of that, they are unnatural, unsatisfactory, and simply put, pandering with an empty soul all around and inside them. Then we have the situation of it being done all the time to cater to minorities, but never by creating new characters the fans can actually identify with. If such a need is all these clowns can think of, that's not there, and it is done to secondary characters or replacement characters that will leave the mantle behind, become our favorite hero's version of another world, be there for a very short time, be there from another dimension or another time in the future, or some other thing, never really being the original character or replacing it entirely. This leads to another reason, another situation that I see here, which is the hand-me-downs. Minorities are always given seconds and treated as such. You don't see Clark Kent here becoming by coming out as part of the rainbow people. No, nothing like that, but his son, who is another Superman with other adventures, an entirely different life, and everything different. It's like saying that Spidey is now part of the alphabet people for it to be Miles Morales, and I can totally see them doing that, going that road, mind you. This, in my opinion, perpetuates the notion that minorities aren't good enough. Despite the fact that there are many other characters out there with the same traits these imbeciles are trying to place on other well-known, well-established characters, they never use them. In fact, they don't care about them and pretend they don't even exist. And there are some who don't really know. They don't even know that these characters exist. Talk about professional comic book creators out there, eh? Gone are the days when our heroes risk their lives against insurmountable odds to protect those they love and the city they live in. That inspirational monologue from Aunt May in Spider-Man 2 from 2004 is no longer something to look for in comic books. No, today, comics concern themselves with who these heroes shag, who these heroes fuck. Imagine. Well, I don't see, nor do I expect straight people to come out every single time and state who they date. It seems something of a mandatory thing for rainbow people to always state who they go out with and what they do with their private lives, which for me feels immoral and something no one is entitled to know if they don't want to share it. Today, in the end of 2021, we are all the time cheering and celebrating these heroes coming out when they are actually ousted by the creators and the companies, and we're doing it as a society. We make a circus out of their lives, and the same happens all too often to real people in that community because the media is feeding the animal that's hungry for this sort of gossip on Twitter and make of these people in the alphabet community living jokes. They shouldn't feel obligated to state who they go on date with unless they want to share that information with us. And yet, every time a character is changed in this way, Twitter goes on a manic attack like a guy having seizures after drinking a couple of beers and accidentally downing a mix of tequila and a Drano for his next drink. Heroes are meant to be heroic. Sure, when they have real-life problems, they are more relatable. But when you make their personalities all about their sex life, you have lost the battle and the fans will shun you for it. Heroes are there to be symbols of improvement. They should be there for us to cheer for them, whether you are from one community or another, and regardless of what you believe in, how you identify as, and who you love. When heroes are tailored to represent only and only one tiny sector of the population, they stop being iconic and lose a large part of their appeal alongside the goodwill of the fanbase that used to buy their stories and become just symbols of a propaganda that's seeking to divide and which has also gone for far too long. In any way, that is only my opinion, so let me know yours down below in the comments. And until next time, everyone, peace out.